viewers. This is Rashi Aditi Ghosh. I am the assistant editor of the magazine called the Banking and Finance Post. It's a bi-monthly magazine by Elets Technomedia, which is India's leading B2B multimedia organization and which is into operations for close to 18 years. We have been connecting lives and meeting people through conferences, through our publications, and today I'm here with another initiative of ours that helps us connect well with the who's who from around the industry. And we have named it Elets Innovation Talk. In its Elets Innovation Talk, it's a special initiative that we have started running after the pandemic outbreak, so that people get messages from the leaders that how the leaders are navigating during these uncertain times, and what are the strategies that are helping them navigate through this crisis. And today, in this brand new episode of Elets Innovation Talk, I would be welcoming someone who is a very well-known speaker. He holds 27 years of experience in building and managing businesses in the IT industry. And I would like to welcome Mr. Kaushik Mitra. He's the Senior Director, Cloud ERP at Oracle India Private Limited. Welcome, Mr. Mitra. Namaskar, and thank you so much for joining us today at Elets Innovation Talk.
Namaskar, Rashi, and thanks for having me in the discussion today. It looks like it will be quite a few interesting points that you would raise today, and I look forward to talking to you.
Perfect. So prior to starting this conversation, this would be of 30 minutes long, and our viewers would be watching it live on our platforms, social media platforms. And I hope this conversation helps them in witnessing wonderful strategies and innovation that you are actually taking a lead at Oracle and, initiating. So the first question that I would be asking you is, what are some of the latest trends in the BFSI sector, if, I would ask you from your point of view that you are witnessing in the recent times?
A very relevant question. As I see, we are all living, in a new digital age, right? With our experience with customers in this sector, let me share some of the common trends which are evolving in this sector. Okay, and I would bucket it under a few areas. The first one is consumer experience trends. So customers are now expecting great digital experiences and anytime 24/7 services. Now, this has increased investment in solutions which caters to such experience requirements, right? So some products that are consumer facing are getting very highly personalized. Consumers are expecting quicker, more convenient, and less costly transactions, along with transparency in fees and more digital options in front of them for effecting cross-border, transactions. The next one that I would talk about are the new technologies which are emerging, right? So we are seeing many new technologies that can revolutionize this experience, and they're beginning to emerge, right? Now, some recent examples are the advent of, obviously, digital payments through instant messaging applications. We all know about biometric security, right? So that's gradually replacing the traditional passwords. Voice banking, that's also becoming an emerging area. And IoT-enabled data collection in the insurance sector. These are some of the new technologies which are emerging in the BFSI segment. Now, what's also happening that there are the traditional banking players, right? So they're looking for open banking trends. So we are seeing that there are obviously emergence of strong fintech players. For example, Paytm as an example. They have forced the traditional financial services organizations to expand value through new ecosystems and partnerships. Now, open banking through standardized APIs with new fintechs is providing traditional organizations an opportunity to monetize services such as digital payments, eKYC, etc., and to also expand their services in other industries and services like consumer goods, travel, education, health, entertainment, and so on. Considering the digitalization that's happening all around us, security becomes of paramount, importance, right? So security and regulation is another trend area as I see. Okay, so financial organizations are now more forced to ensure that data is protected from malicious attacks. And they're also leveraging cloud-based technologies and are looking at data residency policies within data centers in India. And finally, to support all this digitalization, you need talent, right? You need talent who are enabled on digitalization. And we are seeing a rising demand for digital talent leaders for delivering new digital services that I spoke so far. So these are some of the areas, these are some of the trends that I see.
Yes, it is actually very enlightening because, you spoke about fintech, you spoke about lack of patience in the customers. They want everything very quick and convenient. Yes, of course, the voices, voice oriented directions and programs are also picking up very fast. So yes, actually digitization is at the core of it, center of all the transformation that is happening in around pandemic, and it wasn't new to the sector, but yes, experts suggest that it has accelerated the speed of doing it by around 5 years. That's what we have been listening from the experts in all the conferences and conferences that we conduct. So, moving on, the next question is, you spoke about what has happened during the pandemic and what are the trends that are picking up. And, so BFSI sector, was always, functional even during the lockdowns. You know that not just the health workers, even the banking sector people were, at the forefront because financial commitments and financial requirements are something that cannot stop. So what are some of the resources and technologies offered for banking organization to function during this phase in your knowledge?
Okay, so if you look at the BFSI segment, the role of technology becomes very, very crucial, right? So some of the areas, where the technology is playing a major role is by helping change the operating model by using mobile-based technologies, improving with a reach with a no branch model, online KYC, and doing behavioral analysis of consumers using analytics, right? So these are some of the areas where the operating models are getting impacted. Then one is also looking at connected experiences, that is leveraging the power of connected data through digital customer profiles, tailored interactions, and relevant content and promotions, right? Artificial intelligence and digital assistants are becoming very, very crucial. Digital assistants are like, let's say, chatbots. They can recognize various user requests, match them to the appropriate entry in the database, and provide a suitable answer to the user. For example, a digital assistant can help in tracking the outstanding loans across borrowers, using artificial intelligence and machine learning to decide how to deal with the borrower within minutes intuitively is now a thing of the present. Another area where we see a lot of impact of technology is on intelligent automation, right? So there are a lot of mundane work which is getting automated. So one is automating repeatable processes, such as extracting and mining information from scanned copies of purchase orders, invoices, etc., thereby reducing manual effort and minimizing the risk of human errors. And of course, all of these have to happen at a very fast rate. Gone are the days of implementations which takes months. So cloud applications are enabling the BFSI organizations to set up in days and hours, literally, instead of months.
Yes, extremely valuable point here. We know that how much manual work was done in the sector, how this brick and mortar model, where especially PSBs, where the files have to be maintained, papers have to be maintained, data is generated, no place to store it. So of course automation is playing a very big role, and it's likely to grow. That's what even reports are suggesting. So a very valid point, significant point made here. So moving ahead, what do you think is the role of technology played in the revival of Indian economy? How do you think technology is assisting Indian economy, because it's badly hurt across the world? So your point would be specifically on Indian economy, and particularly how is it helping the growth of BFSI sector? You already spoke a bit of it, and if you can add a bit more in context of the economy.
Yeah, and when I talk in the context of the economy, I of course talk about how the things have changed over the last couple of years, right? Which is very fresh in our minds. And so what we have seen, that many organizations in the BFSI segment, they have already, some of them had started these new initiatives, and you talked about a 5-year period for digital transactions, which were pre-pandemic, right? Now, what it did for them was this helped that they were functional even during the lockdown. And during this period, last couple of years, and now going forward, technology and cloud solutions have been great enablers for BFSI organizations. They're assisting the customers remotely, addressing the distressed customer needs, improving the overall customer experience, and providing personalization across all interactions. Now, what it is doing is it is helping us in expanding business, even when the troughs come, even when the lockdowns happen, and even when we get back to normal, right? And we have seen that people are moving to cloud-based solutions with a much more rapid rate, right? So cloud-based HCM and ERP solutions have helped in better employee engagement, streamlining human capital management processes, even in the hybrid working model, deriving real-time insights on customers and financial data from a single source of truth. And what became very important, remotely closing books and doing things like scenario modeling to see what would be the next steps, and change the course during this phase. All of these are having a positive impact on the economy because the lights are on and the businesses are continuing and actually growing even in these challenging times. So to summarize, digital initiatives and cloud technologies in conjunction with, let's say, an unified ERP, finance, and HCM, and customer experience has really empowered this sector during the lockdown and helping it grow moving forward.
Extremely important point. Yes, lights are on, and we are also a ICT company, and we are into conferences. So we were unaware what to do. Technology has helped us to run the show and continue with it. And everybody says that hybrid model is going to stay. It's a learning and opportunity in disguise the pandemic has gifted. Apart from the all the losses that we had cannot be replenished, but of course technology is a gift, and the digitization and its boost is a gift that the pandemic has gifted. So moving ahead, I want to know a very major thing from you now, which is related to the organization you're working with. So we all know about Oracle. It's a technology giant, does not need any introduction in this regard. And you have several significant, service users, where you provide your solutions. So on the basis of that, would you like to share some of the use cases with us, that how are your offerings are benefiting them and helping them navigate across this uncertainty and pandemic period?
Yeah, most certainly. I will give you an illustration from three of our customers, Kotak Bank, Equitas, and HDFC Argo, and how they are effectively using cloud and digital in this period. Now, for Kotak Bank, one of the main challenges, as for the rest of the world, was adapting to business during the pandemic, when most employees were working from home. Now, using the Oracle Cloud HCM applications, the bank automated its recruitment process, significantly reducing manual intervention, and was also able to keep the branch workers safe all over the country. The bank was also able to reduce maintenance effort and provide connected employee experiences to a large and diverse employee database. Now, due to the self-service modules, the efficiency and productivity of the organization has increased, while the user experience also improved. And mind you, all of this during the pandemic, right? For Equitas Limited, while adapting continuously to its growing customer base, it being a small finance bank, they also needed to shift the focus inwards and ensure that data collected stayed safely within the organization. Now, Equitas therefore wanted to adopt a secure way for employees to access critical financial applications. And they turned to Oracle for a digital solution that would reduce multiple logins and create a cybersecurity framework that was comprehensive in dealing with any operational loopholes and were able to transform the way customers and employees access data at Equitas. And so with Oracle, Equitas had a very seamless experience without any hiccups, and business was as usual. The solution that was introduced was the Oracle Access Manager. Now, talking about HDFC Argo, another example, they're operating more than 200 branches in 170 cities. They offered a complete range of insurance for auto, health, travel, home, and accident, plus customized business insurance. Now, they chose Oracle Responses to manage cross-channel customer acquisition campaigns. The company also expects to reduce the time needed to launch new campaigns, and they expect to get more value due to better open and click-through rates and rapid retargeting. So I talked about the human capital management area, I talked about the security area, and I talked about the customer acquisition area as it is used by three of our most important customers.
Well, that's wonderful. You actually gave us insights about the use cases, citing examples from your top clients, and they are the leading names in the BFSI industry. So, but of course, this is kind of motivating that how are you actually helping banks to reach more and more people, because India is in at the stage where financial inclusion is required, where banking is important, and during the pandemic, but of course reaching everybody through technology is something which is of a noble cause, I would suggest. So thank you so much for your time today, Mr. Mitra. It was wonderful talking to you. And I believe that next time when we interact, we will have more to speak on innovations and how Oracle and you on your own, how are you enlightening everybody? So to our viewers that, with this, we would like to bring an end to this episode, but we promise that the next time when we meet, we will definitely meet somebody as bright as Mr. Mitra, and we will chat with them. We will know their stories, their accomplishments and learnings during this pandemic and beyond. And staying hopeful is important. And like he said, the lights have to be on. So thank you so much for joining us today. Namaskar. Thanks a lot. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
Thanks, Rashi. Thank you so much. Namaskar to all your viewers.